All right, welcome back to the channel. Gervonta Tank Davis said something that Vasyl Lomachenko fans found very disturbing, and we will cover it in this video. Specifically, he says that he doesn't think that a Vasyl Lomachenko fight will happen until 2022. So you know what people got? You know what people are crying? Gervonta Davis is a fake, and he's trying to age out Vasyl Lomachenko. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. I am going to talk about two guys that I have in my top 5 pound for pound, or top 6 pound for pound. I'm waffling a little bit, okay? And that is Gervonta Tank Davis, the WBA 130 pound regular champion, and Vasyl High-Tech Lomachenko, or the Matrix, or whatever, or Loma'S, who is the 135 pound or lightweight WBO champion, WBA champion, and WBC franchise champion. Now, people have been talking about this fight being made for several years. Lomachenko, man, one of the biggest times was it seemed like Lomachenko was calling out Mayweather, but he turned and said, no, I'm not calling out Mayweather. I'm calling out Gervonta Tank Davis. And this was when Gervonta Davis was at 130 pounds. You know, Lomachenko was at 130 pounds. And so the issue was, so I think, what belt was it? The IBF and the WBO. That's what it was. Gervonta Tank Davis was the WBO, IBF, was the IBF 130 pound champion, and Vasyl Lomachenko was the 130 pound WBO champion. And they were at that point in time clearly the two best fighters at 130 pounds. Vasyl Lomachenko was doing all that Loma'S stuff with people quitting in the ring and all that. Personally, I think that was a little bit of arranged showmanship, but I don't have any proof. Maybe just out of the blue, people who were not getting beat up terribly bad and who were just kind of getting embarrassed, just decided to quit. And just for him, even though you see people getting beat half to death and saying, I'm not quitting, but for some strange reason, at 130 pounds, not at 126 and not 135, everybody was quitting. So they were like, hey, let's make the Terrence Crawford, not the Terrence Crawford, the Gervonta Tank Davis versus Vasyl Lomachenko fight. Now, Gervonta Davis is an interesting person because he's the cash cow in those weight divisions. Everybody wants to fight him because he really is the biggest name in that division, which is the case despite all of the promotion and all of the push from Fox, from like ESPN and Ring Magazine and different boxing circles that would talk about Vasyl Lomachenko in such glowing terms, that he's the greatest fighter since Muhammad Ali and he's the best fighter. He has the most outstanding career in the history of the world, all that stuff. Despite all of that pushing, dude from named Gervonta Davis from Baltimore, who is honestly quite soft-spoken and does not get a lot of positive press out of any of the people that I mentioned to you, somehow became the cash cow at 130 and 135 because he's putting people on their backs, knocking them out, sending them twitching, and he's got Floyd Mayweather Jr. as a promoter, right? Now at 135 pounds, Gervonta Davis is saying that he wants to fight Vasyl Lomachenko. But the answer that he gave to it and the time frame that he put around it is a bit it don't sound right, man. That's the only way I can say it. Like, I love Gervonta Davis as a fighter. I know as far as what he does outside the ring, yeah, the stuff that he does outside the ring is what he does out the ring. He's 24, 25 years old. My God, man, what people will do at 24, 25 years old is only when you get to 50, like maybe 40, 45, 50 years old that you realize truly how young 25 is, how young 22 and 20 is, shoot, how young 28 is. You got a lot of time to live and learn and grow. So he has a lot of stuff going on off the court, but I mean, out of the ring, but in the ring, the dude is an absolutely fantastic fighter. And many people think that he'll beat Vasyl Lomachenko. I was listening to, God, man, what was it? I think it was Mickey Bay. Some other people people around Devin Haney. Because when they were talking about, whether or not Devin Haney can beat Gervonta, they were like, yeah, Devin Haney beats Gervonta, but Gervonta beats everybody else not named Devin Haney. So there are some people that are very, I think are astute boxing minds that are being honest and truthful about Gervonta to say that they believe Gervonta Davis can beat Lomachenko. Now, they are coming out of the Mayweather gym, and Gervonta is promoted by Floyd Mayweather, so that might have something to do with it. But yet and still, there's a good number of people that believe Gervonta Davis can beat Vasyl Lomachenko right now. Gervonta Davis, I think, believes he can beat him right now, but when he talked about it, he's like, well, more than likely 2022. Now, 2022, it is right now. 3 months left? 3 months left. Yeah, 3.5 months left in 2020. And so Gervonta Davis is going to fight Leo Santa Cruz, I do believe, on an October time frame. So if he wins that, then you have Vasyl Lomachenko fighting Teofimo Lopez around that same time. Why would it take until 2022? You should be able to do it in maybe because the first half of 2021, you're assuming that there's not going to be crowds, and you're not going to be able to make as much money off the crowds with Vasyl Lomachenko, and also because it's a group it's a dual promotion with Gervonta Davis. With the PBC or Mayweather Promotions and Top Rank that might cause the hiccups. But whatever the case, man, after let me put it this way. I'm cool with the second half. I would hope that it could happen in the second half of 2021. But truth be told, Vasyl Lomachenko, if he beats Teofimo Lopez, or if Teofimo Lopez beats Vasyl Lomachenko and they don't have a rematch, truly the next person that deserves a shot against those fighters, against Vasyl Lomachenko, or the winner of Teofimo Lopez is Devin Haney. That's the guy that really deserves the fight there, because Gervonta Davis is still going to be at 100. He's fighting this fight at 130 pounds. And he said that he doesn't really like 135 pounds. He doesn't mind being down at 130 pounds, right? So provided he can make his weight, he's still fighting at 130 pounds. And Devin Haney is the WBC champion that was ducked by Vasyl Lomachenko. So, the 22, in one way, I can understand why people would say that, that Gervonta Davis is ducking Vasyl Lomachenko and trying to push the fight back off to 2022. And I think that I don't think that Gervonta Tank Davis is necessarily afraid to fight him or want to duck him, but I do believe that Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Mayweather Promotions are going to push that fight to the point where they feel very, very confident that Gervonta Davis can win that fight. So, say for example, if Teofimo Lopez gives Vasyl Lomachenko a very, very good fight, and he shows something in there that might seem like he's slipping a little bit, then there's a good chance that Floyd Mayweather Jr. might say, okay, now this is the time. But Floyd Mayweather, and that is because Floyd Mayweather Jr. is the same mode of promoter, or at least he's taking the same road while he's promoting Gervonta Davis as his former promoter Bob Arum has done with multiple fighters. You keep them in in-house fights. You keep them in fights that you think that they can win, unless until the point in time when their value dips. Now, if their value dips, then you can sell, and then you can take a chance with them, because you've gotten 8, 9, 10 fights out of them. If you look at Vasyl Lomachenko in Top Rank has now gotten 13 fights out of him, right? 13, 14 high dollar amount fights out of him. How many more fights do you think that they have left with them, right? 3, 4 more fights? 5 fights at the outside for Vasyl Lomachenko. I don't think you'll ever see Vasyl Lomachenko get to 20 fights in his professional career, because he's already starting to show all that wear and tear. So Gervonta Davis and Mayweather Promotions probably do want to wait him out till 2022. So I could see why people would have an issue with that. But if you're a Vasyl Lomachenko fan that has an issue with Gervonta Davis holding off and fighting Vasyl Lomachenko, then you should also have an issue with Vasyl Lomachenko not fighting Devin Haney, who is the WBC regular champion and really could bring a legitimate undisputed title to 135 pounds. So, it goes both ways, man. I don't think that there's no innocent party in either one of these situations, man. What Gervonta Tank Davis is doing with Vasyl Lomachenko in, stating that he wants to fight him, but, saying that the fight might be a year and a half out. Obviously, Vasyl Lomachenko would have had 2 more wars, right? 2 more fights. They may be 1 war or 2 wars. If Teofimo Lopez turns out to be a war, man, Teofimo Lopez is the type of fighter that can take something out of you. And if he really shows the ability to hurt Lomachenko, well, shoot, Lomachenko getting in there with Gervonta Davis ain't going to be any easier because Gervonta Davis has that ability to crack you too. Maybe not quite on the level of Teofimo Lopez, but definitely close, and definitely close to more so than anybody else that Vasyl Lomachenko has fought. So, I'm looking forward to seeing how this stuff plays out at 135. I don't think that Gervonta Davis and Teofimo Lopez, Gervonta Davis and Vasyl Lomachenko fight really is the one that should be next up, because you can have a real unification, undisputed fight if people just fight Devin Haney, and from there, Gervonta Davis, when he actually does go to 135 and he intends to stay there, then let the guys at 135 pounds fight Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis at 130 pounds can fight Miguel Berchelt. And I think that would be a good fight if he decides to stay at 135 pounds, if he's able to beat Leo Santa Cruz. But that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for your support. And with that, I'm out. Peace.